Hey guys, check out this cool scroll animation. A subscriber sent me this clip and asked to make something crazy out of it. And I did exactly same with weird tumbling effect. Follow me for the coding. Let's see, is it really that easy to build? First of all, let's collect some beautiful images from the Unsplash website. I always use Unsplash for my projects. It's easy to use and does not require much hassle with copyright. Here I'll copy a few image URLs for this project. Although it is better if you download them locally. The page will load faster with local images. But this is not the issue here, so continue for now. Add these URLs in separate image tags. And wrap all of them inside a div with an ID called slider stack. Then add a class name image to all of these img tags. It's easy to understand, so without wasting any more time, check out the result screen. Currently, all the images are arranged vertically by default. We need them stacked on horizontal axis. Therefore, let's dive into the CSS part for the style. Set black background with 100% visible height and width. Then set 0 pixel margin and set overflow property to hidden. Next, style the container div using its ID. This is the slider stack. Give it flex display with absolute positioning. Bring it in center using 50% left and top property. Now style all the images using child selector of the slider stack. Use the image class to target the images. Set minimum 40% for virtual height and 52% of minimum virtual width to limit the image size. Then set object fit property to cover and object position to 100% horizontal and 50% vertical. Use center instead of 50%, it's same for the values. Also use 4% minimum virtual size to set the gap between each image. Together these CSS properties will form a wide image box. And it looks a little below the screen center. So, use the transform property with negative 50% virtual displacement to fix the position of slider stack. The user select property will restrict the default select behavior. Currently, the images are wider in size. I think these images should have more height than width. So maybe swap the size values for better fit. Now style the hover effect for the images. But before that, make it smooth using the transition property with respective values. Copy my code or tweak it according to your need. I'll set a box shadow change with 50% border radius shift on hover. It looks cool, isn't it? Now set draggable property in each image tag to false. I don't want individual images to be dragged. Now dive into the action part of our code. You got it right. We will use standard JavaScript in this project. Start the JS part by referencing the slider stack ID and store it in a constant name slider. The first function in our code is self-explanatory. It stores the horizontal position of the point of contact in a dataset variable called clickPoint. First, we have to initialize it in the HTML part. Follow the code carefully. The first function was for key down or touch event, but the second one is for opposite purpose. It tracks when we release the contact or leave the mouse as it is. In this function, we will set the click point to 0. Here I'll also initialize two new dataset variables, one for the previous percent as last scroll, and the other one is current percentage. Drop a comment if you find it hard to understand. Now code the third and most important function of our project. I'll call it slide. This function will track the movement of the mouse or touch, whatever you use. Start the slide function by checking if the click point is exactly 0. If true, then stop the function, else continue. Next, we will calculate the delta position, that the position mouse moved in either direction. You can find it by subtracting current x position from the click point value. Then find the percentage movement by dividing this delta position by half of available width. I want the scroll to complete in the 50% of the width. That's why the limited width is used. Now add this percent value to the last scroll for complete reference from the edge. Store this new value in a separate percentage variable. Up to now, our slider stack can move infinitely on either side. It needs some limitation, so use the max add min filters to limit the horizontal movement. Now update the percentage variable to this new limited percentage. In this way, we can track the movement from last point without restarting the scroll each time. Once the percentage calculation is done, use it to animate the slider track. From here on, every line will make visible difference in our project, so pay attention. Use the animate property to transform and translate the x position of the slider stack. Use the next percentage value for the x percentage. It will change from 0 to 100, making a horizontal slide. Then add a for loop to animate each image inside the slider stack. I'll set two property. First one if to change the object position from 0 to 100 for the beautiful parallax effect. And the second one is used to rotate these images, causing a tumbler effect. For this, I'll use the transform property with rotate value. You can multiply the next percentage value with 3.6 to get the rotation degrees. Now the only thing left is to call these functions on their respective events. Therefore, set the mouse click and touch events as I did. Notice the difference in the function call, especially with the touch events. Try not to make any mistake here. Look, the scroll is working, but no rotation, and the direction is also wrong. So first fix the scroll direction by inverting the percentage value. Simply put -100 instead of positive during percent calculation. Then change the query selector with getElement by class name to fix the image rotation. Look, everything seems fine. We have successfully built the weird-looking horizontal slider. It took us around 8 to 10 lines of HTML, 25 lines of CSS, and same with JavaScript to finish it. The code is not that difficult. Yet, it has taken hours to complete. Therefore, we can say that this is a medium difficulty project. Please give a like for my efforts and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching Technospace.